Hey there, welcome in, my name's Josh, and today we're going to be talking about what you do when people don't believe in you. So why don't people support you? You know, like they're your friends or your family, but it's like whenever you go around to tell somebody what you want to do, you want to be a concept artist, you want to be an illustrator, you want to make anime, you want to do whatever, and people are like, oh yeah, like, good luck, or like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. It's like, oh, you and everybody else, like, yeah, good luck, you can totally do that. You'd think that they would support you of all people. Like, why do the people you think would support you end up not doing that? Well, they do that for a couple of reasons, and people really don't want you to change very much based off of the first moment they met you. And this gets worse for the people who've known you the longest, which is why your family can be at times, or your parents, the least supportive of your big dreams because, you know, you are X, or the people you went to middle school or high school or even college with. It's like when people met you, they put you in a box. You are an artist, you are lazy, you are good looking, you are this. They take all of these things and then they put you in a box. Which is why, and this is interesting, you watching this on YouTube right now, you viewer who I do not know, you are seeing this in a completely different way than, say, my mom who would watch this, or somebody I went to high school with, or even to college with. And what's even more interesting is that you, viewer who I do not know, you're watching this before this has 100 views, you're hearing what I'm saying and viewing this and putting me in a box in a completely different way than somebody who is watching this very same video when this video has thousands of views. Like, we put people in boxes all the time. Now, we put people into boxes for one of two reasons. The first is that we do it because we're insecure, because we don't really like the box that we're put in, we don't really know how we are and what we are and how we stand in the world, and putting people into different boxes gives us a sense of control of knowing who we are in relation to our peers, and that's kind of terrible, but, you know, it makes sense. And then it's because of that, since that reason for putting people in a box is rooted in insecurity, if somebody breaks out of the box that we put them in, if you're insecure, that really threatens you, because then what does that say about you? What does it say about the box that you were put in? Like, and you're always comparing yourself to your box and other people's box, and it's this giant rat race, and it's exhausting. The second reason we put people in the box is just based off their actions. This is just normal, natural human behavior. When we see people do things, we make judgments of those things that we see them doing. This is the list of character traits I talked about earlier. Are they funny? Are they charismatic? Are they awkward? Are they smart? Are they disciplined? Do they have good habits? Like, we look at people and we see their actions, because actions speak louder than words, remember? So we look at their actions and we say, okay, based off of what I see, this is the kind of person I kind of expect you to be and how I categorize you in my labels of life, and here's your box. So to comment on the first one, don't be insecure, stop it. You're an apple, they're an orange. The box that they're in is completely different than the box that you're in, or even if it's a similar box because you're both artists or you're both human beings, or whatever similarity you want to draw that you feel gives you basis to compare yourself to somebody else, don't, because they're them and they're you, and comparison it's not good. You can learn more about that from everywhere else on the internet, but just stop comparing yourself, don't be insecure, be confident in who you are, and don't try to base who you are off of you see somebody else's, don't. And then for the second reason, well, that's just human nature. Like, sorry, that's not gonna go away. In fact, that's normal. We should make judgments based off of the things that we see people do. Like, that's not an inherently bad thing. It becomes a bad thing when it turns into stereotypes or prejudices and we start assuming more than just their actions. So yeah, naturally you will make judgments off people based off of their actions. And mind you, when I say I'm judging, I'm not talking condemning, I'm talking just realizing who they are and what makes them as a person. But that only goes so far. You can't take just what you see and then take this huge enormous box based off. That's where you cross the line, that's where it's too far. So yeah, it's normal to make judgments off of people and to see who they are based off of their actions, but don't cross that line and think you know everything about their life. So back to art and dreamers, right? So if people aren't supporting you, it's probably because they put you in a box, and this is where you have to think. It's like, all right, is there anything in my life, are there any of those things that I'm doing, any of those characteristics, any of those habits that I'm doing, any of those things that would give them a reason to judge me and think that I don't have what it takes to reach my dream? Am I not disciplined? Am I really lazy? Am I all bark and no bite? Like, what do you have anything in your life that you can see from your perspective, being introspective, of saying, you know, I can see why they wouldn't support me, you know, for reason X, Y, and Z. Like, if that's the case, you know, then own that, be aware of that, and go forward. But if you can't find anything, and a really close friend who supports you can't really find anything either, then they're probably just insecure and not supportive because they don't want you to break out of their box, because they don't know what that would say about them. So just disregard that. Okay, so that's boxes, right? But another reason why people don't support you is because of cynicism, which is like my biggest pet peeve in the entire world. So us in the West, especially in America, we're super cynical all the time. We like to label ourselves as realists because it sounds better, but it's depressing, it's obnoxious. There's like no hope or optimism anywhere, and it's frustrating because the cynics or the, realists, they say these things because, they care, and I know that they do, like family and friends. Like if they rain on your parade or they poo-poo your ideas, it's like, oh yeah, I just don't want you to get hurt, I care about you very much. And it's like, bro, listen, like, that's sweet, I get that, and I know that you're afraid that if you become supportive, you'll just become a fluffy Care Bear and just blow smoke up everybody's, but it's like, no. Dreamers need support much more than they need you telling them how hard it's going to be and how it's unlikely that they're going to make it. Like, even if the dreamer is oblivious to the challenges that await them, they don't need you to tell them what they are because they're going to experience them almost immediately. Like, the reason dreams don't happen is because people give up. Like, stop it. They need your encouragement more than they need you to be a voice of reason. They already have so many voices in their head telling them to quit anyway. They don't need another one. So just support them and don't be this cynical, obnoxious person because another type of person that falls into the cynic camp is the ex-dreamer, or the dreamer who came up short, or the dreamer who failed, because they didn't make it, and heaven forbid if somebody else makes it and they don't, because they couldn't handle that, because again, they're still in that insecure comparison game, and if you make it and they didn't, well, their head would just explode, because that's not fair, and life's not fair, and how could that, so like, they would much rather you fail than succeed, because if they failed, well, by golly, you should fail too. So it's like, man, don't let other people's life or past experiences be projected onto you of what yours is going to be. Now we're back in the box category. So it's like, if people are cynical of your success, again, take a mental inventory. Is there any reason in your life that would give them reason to be cynical? Any bad habits, anything like that? No? All right, then let them be them and you'll prove them wrong. And that sounds really simplistic and frustrating because it's like, oh, easy, all right, well, just screw everyone else and just chase after your dream. Like, all right, why didn't I think of that? It's like, I get it, man, it sucks. People don't respect you. Oh yeah, he's out trying to be oh, he's trying to do X, Y, Z. And it's like, oh, I really? It's like, nobody wants to be that guy. Because you don't feel respected. You don't feel encouraged. You just feel like a loser because nobody believes in you. And it's so bad. That's why people quit, man. Like, that's why people stop chasing after their dreams, because it's so lonely and depressing, because literally nobody thinks they have what it takes. So for what it's worth, from one person on the internet to somebody else on the internet, I think you have what it takes. Granted, I don't know about your bad habits. I don't know if you're disciplined, which, by the way, if you don't have discipline, you won't make it. It's just a fact. So it's like, I don't know how close you are to realizing it. I don't know the rest of the things that you have to deal with. I don't know the demons in your head. But what I do know is that if you have a dream that keeps you up at night, if you have something that you want to share with the world that you know would make it a better place, don't stop. Like, I know you can do it. I'm here for you. I believe in you. I'm not going to tell you how hard it is. If you don't know already, you'll find out really soon. But, I'll make content and I'll still be here just to make sure that you don't stop. Because we need more people to go out and make beautiful things. Like, really, really badly. Like, it sucks. But don't be cynical, don't be jaded, don't hole yourself up in your room because nobody believes in you and you're just, don't victimize yourself. Like, don't go too far, but like, I feel you. I get that. I get that it can be lonely. I get that it can really suck to not have a support system. So, for what it's worth, here I am for you. I believe in you. You can do it. And that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all the stuff you do on YouTube anyway. I also have an Instagram. Be sure to follow me over there. And, I look forward to seeing all of you next week. You got this. Don't give up. I believe in you.